Real estate is one space that has begun to move. DB Realty reported their numbers this quarter. Vipul Bansal joins in to talk about that. Vipul, morning. Just want to address a couple of question marks that were raised over your earnings first with regards to the interest costs. What is it that you foresee in terms of an interest cost burden for the rest of the year, and what kind of steps is the company taking in order to alleviate that or lessen that load?
Good morning, Mithali. We've got about 300 crores of debt, which for a company of our size is not really much. So debt is not really a concern. During the rest of the year, we would be in the process of organizing funding for our various projects, which, about 3 of our key projects are expected to go live in the next 3 months to 5 months, and the inventory there is worth about 15,000 odd crores. So we would be in the process of organizing the debt funding for that. But other than that, as of now, we have about 300 crores, which is not much, and we're not really focused on that. So any softening in interest rates will, of course, benefit us, but does not really impact us too much.
Vipul, morning. Between last quarter and this quarter, Q2 and Q3, your sales went up from about 50 odd crores to 125 crores. Can you take us through what led to the delivery jump between the quarters, and what specific square footage and at what rates did you step up, push sales in DB Crown and in the DB Golf Links properties?
Morning, Udyan. The sales of that 125 crores which jumped primarily is a sale which is recognized in our revenues. It does not include sales where projects like DB Crown has not been taken into consideration, because it's not reached that threshold of construction where you begin to recognize revenue. So in actual, our sales numbers have been about 432 crores for the quarter. The jump in sales is primarily because around the time when the third quarter started, we got complete clarity from the government on the new DC regulations, and therefore we could go out in the market and wholeheartedly begin to market the products and sell. So market also that also coincided with the markets opening up a little, and the response to our projects has been strong. So so the sales number in actual has been about 432 odd crores.
So in the current quarter, Q4, which properties will you be actually recognizing revenues from? And if you can just give us a breakdown of which property will contribute how much?
See, I can't give you the specifics, but broadly, we've got the major kicker will be DB Crown, which is expected to cross that threshold of 25% construction threshold when you begin to recognize your revenues. That's accounting policy we follow. So that being a major project, the numbers for Q4 will definitely be affected by the DB Crown coming into the recognition mode. Other than that, as of now, DB Woods, DB Suburbia and DB Ozone have been the major contributor, with DB Woods being the major contributor. But again, being suburban projects, they have relatively low margins compared to some of the premium town projects, South Bombay projects.
Okay. Didn't get the rates on an average that you're managing to book in terms of square footage for some of these properties, Vipul?
See, as of now, the average rates that we've been getting about 15,000 for our suburban projects. The average rate realization is jumping up because our average sales realizations constitute of primarily 2 classes of assets. We've got about 300 crores of liquid TDR which sits on our books, which sells at about 2,600 rupees a square foot, which kind of tends to bring the average realization down. But typically all our projects are in the vicinity. Suburban projects are about 15,000 rupees a square foot. The South Bombay projects are northwards of 30,000 rupees a square foot.
There were some concerns a few months back about whether or not you would be able to convert inventory into sales. Do you have any pent-up inventory that you hope to sell through the course of this calendar year, Vipul?
See, the inventory had been piling up because you don't want to hit the market with anything where you're not clear about what it's going to look like with the impact of the new regulations. Now that the clarity is there, the last quarter was pretty strong, 432 crores of sales. I expect the same momentum to be there. I wouldn't be surprised, that with the three premium projects, which is DB Turf at Mahalakshmi and DB Heights at Jacob Circle and DB Paradise at BKC coming live, between them about 4 million square feet of residential. The sales numbers should definitely be strong. The profit numbers there will be a lag in the profit numbers because the recognition will take some time to come through. So I expect very strong sales going forward in this year from our company.
I was going to ask you that for FY14 then, what kind of projects will generate most of the revenues, you think, and what kind of a sales number could you be looking at?
See, it's very difficult to predict what kind of numbers, because it's a function of what cash flows we need, because when we sell during construction, there is a certain discount that we have to incorporate for pushing the inventory. So that's a function of the cash flows. Last quarter we had collections about 140 odd crores, which is pretty much what the organization needs to run. Now, going forward, we will be dabbling in inventory which is north of about 30,000 crores. So, even a percentage is about 300 crores a month. So that is not going to be the driver. The driver is, what kind of cash flows you need, what kind of discounts you want to give, and being all Bombay-centric projects, I don't think that there is any urgency to sell, or there is any there is no need to sell it in a hurry. So we will see. We've got about 30,000 of inventory during the year which we have to sell, and we will sell a portion of it. The numbers should look strong.
Just one question, because promoters have been revoking some of the stake pledges that they had with many banks like ICICI Bank. What is the situation on that front?
See, that's between the promoters. The executive management and the ownership is separate, and I'm not really in a position to comment on that. Not because I want to, but because I'm not really into that.
I believe you've also resumed negotiations on that big redevelopment project in Bandra, Vipul. Where are things at, and by which quarter of which year do you think you might start to see any impact of it?
See, Mitali, in general, we're back in the market. We're scouting around for projects because, as we discussed with the inventory and the cash flows that we hope we will get now, we will have to scout around for projects. So we are exploring all kinds of multiple opportunities. City as it is in a, there are a lot of very, very interesting projects available at, quite competitive prices. So we will continue to approach all those opportunities.
We wish you luck, Vipul. Thanks for joining in today. That's DB Realty. Stocks up about 1.5%. So sales should start picking up for them this year, and the stock has reacted to that news as well. But